Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Okay, let's take a look at number 1. All right. Let's move this over. All right, so we will come back to these symbols while we are working with each of these questions. Miss Barley and I gave you guys this list, you could call it. Whenever you see these words, it will tell you when to use these inequality signs. Now, these inequality signs should not be something new to you guys because you've seen them in the previous lessons. All right, so let's go ahead and look at example 1. Lizzie and Laura went to a bakery to buy desserts. Lizzie bought 3 packages of cupcakes and 2 packages of brownies for $19. Laura bought 2 packages of cupcakes and 4 packages of brownies for $24. Let X equal the price of 1 package of cupcakes and Y equal the price of 1 package of brownies. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. X is my cupcakes and Y is my brownies. All right, so let's take a look at Lizzie here. Lizzie bought 3 packs of cupcakes and 2 packs of brownies. So we would write it like this: 3 packs of cupcakes and 2 packs of brownies for $19. Then we had Laura. She bought 2 packs of cupcakes and 4 packs of brownies. So that would look like this: 2 packs of cupcakes plus 4 packs of brownies for $24. Now this should definitely look familiar because this is just elimination. So for part B, it says determine the cost of 1 package of cupcakes and the exact cost of 1 package of brownies in dollars and cents. Justify your solution. So that justification, guys, is just showing work. All right, so let's go ahead. I always like to rewrite them. And ask yourself, is there anything here that you can eliminate? The answer to that should be no. So let's do the rule. We're going to pull these numbers out and flip them. I'm going to multiply the top by 2, the bottom by 3. But don't forget, one of them has to be negative. So I'll just make the top one negative because that's just what we're going to get here. So I'm going to have negative 6x minus 4y equals negative 38. The bottom one is going to be 6x plus 12y equals 72. All right, so now looking at this, is there something that I can eliminate? Those 6's, because remember, one is a negative and one's a positive. So then we have this part with our plus sign. Negative 4 plus 12 gives me a positive 8. The next part says negative 38 plus 72 gives me 34. Divide each side by 8. Okay, so looking at this problem then, it's going to be y equals $4.25. Okay, once we find the value for y, now we need to go ahead and substitute it into one of the original problems. So we are going to solve for x. I'm going to go ahead and pick the top one, the first one up here. 3x plus 2y equals 19. Now I'm going to take that y and put it in. So I have 3x plus 2 times 425 equals 19. I get 3x plus 850 equals 19. We want that x to be by itself, so who do we have to move? 850. We're going to subtract 850 from both sides. We get 3x equals 1050. Sorry that I'm over this problem here. Divide each side by 3, and we get x equals $3.50. Okay? Now, I would have to write my final answer. You can put it right up here. that my cupcakes are $3.50 and the brownies are $4.25. So this right here is the final answer, and that is what we will be looking for. All right, here comes the next problem, and Miss Barley.
All right, so solving the first example with Miss Santiago, if you notice, it was very similar to all of that lesson 18, solving systems of equations algebraically. Well, let's take a look at example number 2 because it's just a little different. It says Jonah is going to the store to buy candles. Small candles cost $3.50 and large candles cost $5. He needs to buy at least 20 candles and he cannot spend more than $80. So we need to write a system to describe this situation. So let's figure out what we're talking about. Let's let X equal the number of small candles that he's buying. And let Y equal the number of large candles. Okay? Now let's go back to the problem and write our equations. The first one is talking about money, right? So small candles cost $3.50. So I have $3.50 times my small candles. Large candles cost $5. So $5 times all of my large candles. And it says that he cannot spend more than $80. He cannot go over $80. So am I going to write equals 80 right here? No. I need to use an inequality symbol here. Now think about that. If you only have $80 to spend, can you spend more than that or less than that? Okay? You can spend less than or equal to $80. You cannot go over that $80. So we want to use the less than or equal to symbol. Okay, now let's go back and read to find our second equation. It says he needs to buy at least 20 candles. So right here, they're not giving you a lot of information in words. You kind of have to read into it. So at least 20 candles. That means all of the small candles plus all of the large candles has to be at least 20. So what does at least mean? Think about that. I have at least 20. Do I want to buy more than that or less than that? Okay. At least means 20 is the smallest number that we can buy. That's the bare minimum. But I can buy anything higher than that. So I want to use a greater than or equal to symbol for this. Okay? Now, lucky for you guys, when we do systems of inequalities, usually we will not solve them algebraically. Yay! But if you flip your paper over and look at this next one, we're solving a system of inequalities and we're going to have to graph it, okay? All right, so example 3. Okay. Edith babysits for X hours a week after school at a job that pays $4 an hour. She has accepted a job that pays $8 an hour as a library assistant working Y hours a week. She will work both jobs. She is able to work no more than 15 hours a week due to school commitments. Edith wants to earn at least $80 a week, working a combination of both jobs. So there's two things that they are talking about in this problem. The first thing, the X's, they tell us, are her hours at her after-school job. So I'm going to write hours after school. The Y's in this scenario are representing her hours working at the library. So hours at library. And now we need to create our two inequalities. Now, if you notice, they're giving us some information about how much money she's making at this job. So I'm going to go through and underline all the information about money. So it says her after-school job pays $4 an hour. So I will have $4 times how many hours she works after school, X, plus her job at the library pays her $8 an hour. So $8 times Y, the library hours. And it tells us she has to earn at least $80. So think about that again. $80 is the least amount, okay? Does that mean I'm going to make more than $80 or less than $80? If 80 is the least, 80 is the smallest amount, I can definitely make more than that, okay? But I do not want to make anything lower than that. So I'm going to use a greater than or equal to symbol here. Greater than or equal to 80. The next inequality comes from the number of hours that she is working. And again, you have to really read between the lines to get this second equation. It says she is able to work no more than 15 hours a week, okay? So that means all the hours after school plus all of the hours in the library cannot be more than 15. So which inequality symbol do we want to use here? Okay, again, let's think about this. If I cannot go over 15, I want to use a less than or equal to symbol because I want everything less than 15. I cannot go over 15. 15 is the highest. Okay? So, now that we have our system of inequalities, we're going to graph them. The same way that we graphed systems of inequalities in lesson, what was that, 17 maybe? 16, 17? We're going to do the same thing here. Shading, solid dash line, all that fun stuff.
Okay, so let's take a look at that blue one. We want to get y by itself. I'm going to rewrite it down here, Barley.
Yes, do that.
She's so bossy.
Do it.
All right, so I'm going to subtract. Oop. Okay, so I'm going to subtract $4 X from both sides. And I get $8 Y, or 8Y, is greater than or equal to negative 4X plus, oh, squeeze it in there. Let's move it over. 80. All right, so we want to divide everything here by the $8.
Now, don't get confused because it says 8.00. If you want to just use 8, that's fine, but I just had to write it like that because we are talking about money.
Sure. So we're going to cross off those 8s. We're going to bring down y is greater than. Now in my calculator, negative $4 divided by $8 is going to be a negative 1/2 x plus 10. All right, so we can go ahead and graph that first one. What number am I going to start at, guys? 10. I'm going to start here at the 10, and I'm going to do rise over run. This negative 1 tells me to go down, so I'm going to go down 1 and over 2. And then you guys are going to just kind of complete that pattern. All right, now, if I look at the inequality sign, there's a line underneath, so it's going to be solid. And then I'm going to label it with my original. Then we're going to get Barley up here to do the red one.
Yeah.
So it's $4 X plus the $8 Y was greater than or equal to 80. And then we'll do the shading after we get both of them up there.
Okay. All right, so for the second line, X plus Y is less than or equal to 15. Again, we want to get the Y by itself, so we always move the X over, subtract X from both sides. We'll get Y is less than or equal to negative 1X plus 15. So again, graphing this, starting at my y-intercept of 15, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's my y-intercept. Then I just use my slope. Now the slope here is a -1, so that means I'm going to go down 1 and to the right 1, down and to the right, down and to the right, all the way covering the whole entire graph. Now, like Miss Santiago said, I need to figure out and look at this inequality symbol. Am I going to connect the dots with a solid or a dashed line? Well, because it has the little line underneath it, the little equal to symbol, I'm connecting it with a solid line. And then I'm going to label it, I don't know where I can put it. I'm going to go up here. X plus y is less than or equal to 15. Okay, now we need to do our shading.
Look at the shading. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look at the blue one. If you look at this right here, it says y is greater. So looking at that blue line, guys, we are going to shade above. And we want to make sure that we go all the way. I know sometimes it gets tricky looking at both lines, but you want everything above the blue line. Okay, so there's our blue line.
All right, and with the red line, we have a less than or equal to symbol. So I want to shade everything below the red line. Okay, so remember, with the systems of inequalities, we are not looking for just one single point of intersection. We are looking for an entire solution set. So where does the red shading and the blue shading overlap? Right in this little area here. That's the solution set. That's very important because we have to answer a question about this problem.
So it says determine and state one combination of hours that will allow Edith to earn at least $80 per week while working no more than 15 hours. Guys, that's another way of saying pick a point in that solution. You can pick anything you want as long as it's in this shaded area. So because this is the first one that I picked, I'm gonna pick that point. So I went over 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna do 4, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is saying, okay, remember, let's go back up to the beginning. X is after school hours. So we can work 4 hours after school and work 9 hours at the library, and that will not exceed any of the rules that were given here. I will make at least $80, or Edith will make at least $80, and I will not work any more than 15 hours.
All right?
All right, so when you guys have this all done, go ahead, grab your classwork, get started, and
Good luck.
good luck.